It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Idiots Podcast.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
Let's play the audio, Alex. What were your thoughts on what he said about the baseball player whose name I can't pronounce?
He got one word wrong.
What's the word?
Harm.
Talk to me.
Somebody not... here's the thing that's annoying. We all know what he was trying to say.
Yes.
And unfortunately what happens is when you feed a certain part of the media system that their diet is consistent of outrage, and you give them a nourishing meal that they can be outraged about, they just gonna get to work. They also knew what he was saying. When Stephen A. Smith said he's harming the game by not being able to speak English, that's wrong. He's not making the game any less interesting. If he did speak English, he would make the game even more interesting because what he's doing is so unique. But by not speaking it, you're not hurting it in any way.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But here's the thing. The dude doesn't have to want to fucking speak English. Like, maybe the guy doesn't want to be a superstar. Maybe he doesn't want to be the most marketed player in the league. Maybe he doesn't want to make any more fucking money. Maybe he has no personality. Maybe he's fucking boring. He doesn't have to do it. Would it help the league if he did? Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't hurt if he doesn't. And that's the one thing where he got himself in trouble. I also think it's really funny that when he was imitating Sammy Sosa's voice, nobody thought that was racist at all. But if he was imitating Shohei Ohtani's voice.
I didn't hear him imitate Sammy Sosa's voice.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually saw this episode in real time. And it's interesting that I was even paying attention because I always zone out when they talk about baseball.
Baseball, yeah. Who gives
I don't fuck with baseball. I think baseball was way more interesting when everybody was on steroids. But when he said what he said, I didn't think anything of it, and that's why I wanted to have a conversation with people who were actually offended by what he said so I could get an understanding of why they might have been offended. Because to me, I've heard this rhetoric before in regards to boxers. They've been saying this about Canelo Alvarez and Triple G forever. They're like, if Canelo and Triple G could speak English, they'd be the biggest things in the sport. I mean, Canelo in a lot of ways already is, but imagine if Canelo could like talk that talk.
He can't.
You know what I mean?
And it hurts him. It hurts him.
I've heard, I'm not going to say who I heard say this because I don't want to get my sports pundits wrong. But I feel like I've heard sports pundits say, you know, if Luka Doncic was white or if Dirk Nowitzki was white,
they are white.
White and American,
American,
they'd be the biggest stars in the league.
They would, without a doubt.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So somebody brought a good point to us yesterday because we was talking about this on Breakfast Club.
Luka will be the biggest star in the league, but
you think so?
He will, but he
over
would be.
Zion?
Yeah.
Really?
He can speak.
Not over Zion.
Yeah,
he can speak English.
He will be over Zion.
English. Not over. You think over Zion?
Yeah, he's better.
No, he's a better player. He's
better
because
shooter. He's better. I think his team will do better, and I think he'll be a bigger star.
Yeah.
But and also the fact that he's white, dude. Like, there's a thing with humans. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but a lot of people, they just want to see themselves reflected in their heroes.
But don't you have to be white American? Because Dirk was a beast.
Yeah, and
Dirk is probably the second greatest power forward of all time.
I think the thing about Dirk is nobody aspired to have a game like Dirk.
Really?
Yeah, like
everybody plays like Dirk now.
Nah.
7-footer who can spread the floor, shoot the three.
Slow plotting.
Oh, got you.
Like I remember, when I'd be playing like hoops on streets or whatever like that, and you go to parks, like I wasn't even a shooter. Like I would cross you up and I'd get to the cup, and people would call me Dirk because that was the most famous white basketball player, and I would be insulted by that shit. I'd be like, Dirk, what are you talking about? Yeah, like I'm Iverson, you know, but they just couldn't.
Iverson, bro.
Right? Like, what are you talking about? White Iverson, bro. Before Post Malone, you know. Yeah. We got a point about Post Malone. Al brought up an interesting point. We get back to that, how you basically made his career by bullying his ass out of hip hop.
That's not true.
Yeah, the second he came on the Breakfast Club, he's like, I'm no longer a rap artist. And then he started, and then remember,
if I got to come to this show, I'm not rapping no more.
I am not rapping. I got to care about Black Lives Matter and understand shit. I want to drink Bud Light, get face tattoos, fuck all this shit. And he went to the pop genre and fucking exploded and became, the biggest artist. He owes you a little check, bro.
Whatever.
He owes you a little check.
He bought me joy just by being able to ask him, what are you doing for the Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, that is fucking hilarious.
I mean, nothing. You know what was so funny? That was like the Black Lives Matter movement was definitely the movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then like shit got really intense.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't even ask that question no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But man, when you used to ask white people that when it first started, they had no response. It's like PR people
Like, what
started
you want me to
sitting-
do?
That's like I saw Jack Harlow say some shit a couple weeks ago. And I might have been last week. I'm like, that's a very great
What'd he say?
statement. I don't even remember, but it was something about blackness and how him being a white person, he wants to show other white people how to represent the culture correctly and not appropriate it, but appreciate it and give back to it. And I was like, man, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
But so many white people had to die on that what are you doing for Black Lives Matter question in order to get the Jack Harlow to have that great answer,
He
man.
prepared.
We've seen a lot of people die on that question, bro. Like, but Dirk.
Oh.
So you consider Dirk white?
Yeah, Dirk's white. They're all white.
Okay.
But yes, of course, if you're American, you're going to be huge. I mean, like, we saw what happened with Linsanity, right?
Yeah.
Like, an Asian dude starts balling in the NBA, and the Garden is sold out with Asians every single night. Like, Asians are going crazy.
Same thing
man.
with Yao Ming back in the day.
Yao Ming. I mean, it was crazy because you want to see yourself reflected, especially if you're not reflected at all, right? Like, I'm sure as a black dude, you see tons of black basketball players, so it's not a big deal. You got your choice. But if you're a white dude and there's not a lot of white basketball players that you actually want to aspire to play like, Dirk didn't play that cool. Luka plays cool.
Yeah, Lucas, he balls.
His game is, is sweet. So I think there's a lot of that going on. Now, me personally, I never understood that or felt that way. But I also just had so many people I looked up to from different races growing up. So it was just kind of like the musicians and shit that I look up to. Like, I listened to hip hop, so I didn't see myself reflected in that. I look and obviously
And
with
comedians,
basketball,
funny is just funny, so you're looking for the funny.
comedians, I started watching comedy from Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what so it's like I was just used to that, so I never thought about it. But I do understand how people want to be reflected.
True, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everything you said is true. I think with the baseball thing, and I thought about this by actually watching that segment. I didn't realize baseball was so old.
Yeah.
Right. So baseball is what 100+ years old, if not more.
Oh man, I
Right.
thought it's older, bro.
I think it's older. It's very, very old.
Yeah.
And like most institutions that are old in America, they're inherently racist, right?
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that.
I mean, just go back to Jackie Robinson. I mean,
Oh, they were as racist. To say the institution is racist still is I can't prove that or
well,
deny it.
Stephen, they had a good point. Stephen, they said the demo's not getting no younger, right? Stephen, they say it's still an old demo.
that needs
So
to
I'm not saying once again, it's not a general statement.
Right.
But if it is an old sport and you got a lot of old people that watch the sport, you probably got some 70-year-old, 80-year-old white people that's like, I don't want to see these Asians and these Dominicans and Latinos dominating baseball. If you wanted to make America great again, how you think you felt about baseball?
Yeah.
It's the great American pastime. I want to make the great American pastime again. So they're like, to your point, where is the Babe Ruths? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where is the Satchel Pages? No, he was black.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
He black?
The guy from Life.
Nah, he was white.
Where's the Nolan Ryans?
Yeah.
Where is the Mark McGuires?
Yeah.
I remember the good old days of baseball.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious. They probably do feel like that. So it's probably an American thing more so than anything. They want to see themselves represented. So
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers declining, because the baseball ratings are declining a little
It's
bit.
just boring. The sport's boring.
I
And
always thought it was
better
boring.
play.
though.
more
better
interesting
play it.
sports are coming around to replace it, and this is what happens with sports throughout time. Like, we
Yeah.
used to watch people running around a circle and thought that was interesting, right? Like the track and
Hold
field
on.
was fire. Now we can tolerate it once every 4 years. That's how boring it is, right? So
I love track and field.
Yeah,
yeah, if you
practice
like it once
though.
every 4 years. If motherfuckers said every Sunday we're gonna watch track and field, you can be like, all right, I get it.
I want to
You-
see, I wanna
Nah,
see
I
the
be
next
watching- I
person.
like track and
Yeah.
field.
Man, fuck
It's
out
real-
of
it's
here.
real
Cap.
competitive. No, it's comparative.
Cap.
It's
Yo.
competitive.
What do you mean?
If I go,
Y'all
I'll
are
watch you
crazy,
and Taylor.
son.
I'll watch you and T Diddy race
Y'all
every
are
week.
crazy,
Exactly.
bro.
If you and Taylor race every week,
I
I'd
watch that shit every
Same result.
week.
Same result.
But what if she keeps saying she getting better, she getting faster, she doing it? I want to see
Eventually, you'd
that.
be like, all right, you're not gonna win. The reason track and field is boring is because the same people win every single time.
By the way,
There's no competition.
if you can't watch track and field, you just got ADD or something, bro.
It's one out of every 4 years you
And
can
not
watch
only that,
it.
it's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but nobody's
Yeah.
watching
Come on.
it unless your country's attached. So you could tell us if a sport is trash if you need the country to be attached.
I like
in order for
watching you
people to watch.
saying. I loved watching you saying.
In regular tournaments or when it was like,
Whenever he would run,
Yeah,
it's
he
like, yo,
did
that dude was
Jamaica.
incredible.
Yeah.
I like speed. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I mean, but I'm different though. I used to run a 3.640, so it's like I respect like other speedsters. You know what I mean? 100 meters. I used to do the 400 meter. I used to do the 400 meter in like, man, 7 seconds, some shit like that. No, it wasn't 7 seconds.
Yo,
it was
shut the fuck up, bro.
It was like 32 seconds.
The amount of lies that just came out of his mouth right now. He goes, he said that, can you just repeat
A
what he
40-yard dash in what?
He
3.6.
He said, Charlamagne, he goes, look at his face. Look at his face. He goes.
I think he bad with numbers.
So he goes,
you
I
never
used to run a
backing up the
3.640.
weed.
And then he goes, 100 meter dash? Shit. I used to run a 400 meters. He just kept moving up. And what the fuck are you talking
400
about?
meter, 37 seconds. 37.2.
Charlamagne.
You lucky I grew up in an era where we didn't have cameras.
Thank God. No, you lucky.
I had a 72-inch vertical leap too.
Hell no.
Who?
Man, man, I was training and this guy thought he could jump over the fence. Leg got caught.
No.
Hung on the fence. I had to go get him.
No. Oh no, dude.
I could jump that. I'm like,
I really don't know.
Nah.
That was stupid.
Yo, you're crazy.
Remember how we talked about? Listen, remember how earlier we talked about all it takes is one person to make you do something. I'm that person for me. listen. Wax was going to train, right? Wax on the football field. I just see the fence. Something said, "Jump over that fence."
Oh, wait, it was him?
Yeah.
Me,
I thought it was your friend.
No, I'm talking to myself.
He told me I could jump. I'm like, man,
I can jump over that shit, right? For no reason.
He just do his thing.
Take off.
I watched him. Okay, we see the fuck he got.
I had to go.
Oh shit! I couldn't even finish practice. It's time to go. Give me some weed.
Shit was stupid, man.
The fuck?
But-
The leg got caught in dumb shit.
The moral of the story is what Stephen A. Smith said. It wasn't any type of phobic, was it? That's what you gotta ask now. I don't even know what phobic thing. I don't even know what phobic it is anymore. You know what I want to see? I want somebody to ask Khaled. I want somebody to ask DJ Khaled. What does he think of they?
Oh,
Right now in this era.
Wait. We the best. They ain't, what is it?
Because remember, he always used to be like, they don't want us to win. And they is haters.
Yo,
Can you imagine if somebody said that to Khaled now and then you took it and put it online out of context? They'd be calling Khaled so many phobics.
bro, Khaled was trying to make America great again, bro.
It's not
Yo, because they was hating on him, right? Like, yo, they didn't want him to win. Yo, it's true.
I just want to see how, those are the type of social experiments I like to see.
Yeah.
Because we can really see how America has jumped the shark.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody went back to one of Khaled's old interviews and brought it up and say, look how he's talking about they.
Yeah. How do you feel about pronouns? They don't want us to win.
I think what Demi Lovato said is true, and
What'd
I
she
respect
say?
her for it. Demi Lovato said, don't be mad at people who don't use the right pronouns because it takes some she basically said it takes some getting used to.
Yeah. It's
Like-
gonna take one more day than I will live.
Yeah, because it's gonna take a generation.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Because if you're telling me now that that's one of the genders, I'm a 43-year-old man who grew up on male and female.
Yeah, AEIOU.
I thought they was a what is they? They is
Said pronounce.
they is a vowel. No, they is a noun. They is a pronoun.
AEIOU.
Those vowels. Those are vowels.
I don't know the parentheses.